Chapter 2 Uprooted by Luki Siffrin. The glare from the sun burns my eyes as I reawaken. The whispers of the wind are a comfort to my shaken mind. Calm. Instinctively, I take a deep breath. They whisper once more. You are safe. Human help is coming. My head hurts. Dazed and confused, I roll my head to rest my left ear on the damp earth beneath me. My vision starts to focus better, and I can see boots, dark green, and they appear to be heading my direction at pace. The closer they get, the more details emerge. They are, it seems, wellies. They look well used too. Mudded toe caps. The person wearing them is wearing what looks to be a blue denim. You all right, my dear? A local accent I can hear but cannot answer. At least not with anything that makes sense. Cappuccino, I sigh, quietly rolling onto my back again. My dear, the voice keeps repeating, a male's voice, getting closer each time. Eventually, a face appears above me. Indeed, a male, looked around 20, pointed chin, distinct jawline, buzz cut. His eyes grey with splatters of blue, like the artwork of a toddler let loose with the acrylics that come with the paint by numbers books. Are you all right, my dear? Too dazed to immediately reply, I tried to sit up. It was easier than expected. Careful now. He supports my back firmly with his right palm. You must have had a very nasty fall. I'm going to need to patch that knee up for you. How bad is it? I ask, using him as a hold to pull myself up to my feet. Impossible to tell until it is all cleaned up, but it has bled through your trousers, he says. Great. Rolling my eyes, I reach for my bike. You can't ride in that state, he points, waving but in a vertical motion. I guess. Disappointed, I lift my bike. Dennis. Who? Dennis, he says again. That is my name. He speaks nervously, but you can call me Dennis. Oh, I reply. I'm G. Let us get back to my farmhouse and we can get you all patched up. You will have to mind the mess though. I don't often meet other people. Because the only people you meet are pheasants and wild rabbits, right? I joked whilst failing to compose myself. Too right, he smirks. Is your place far? I ask, eager to get this knee sorted. It hurts. No, Dennis points up ahead with his forefinger. Little cottage farmhouse just up the junction here, whilst walking. He keeps waving that finger around it, hovering in an uncertain fashion, similar to the flight of a bumblebee that strayed too far from the hive and found a bit too much pollen for one work shift. It's only in Woolly Green. I know Woolly Green well. Only a brief walk away my sense of direction is to be trusted. Tiny hamlet, dry stone walls, surrounded by fields. I have passed through it a good few times, but only noticed a handful of houses around. I often cycle through here. I'm surprised we haven't met before, I say in an attempt to find common ground. It's most likely because you are on your bike and I am in a tractor. He giggles, which I find charming in a sense. I am yet to find a human that is charming, only ones that think they are. Maybe I just need to be more open with my interaction with them. Brown? I ask quizzingly. Nope. The response was quick as it was smug. Blue? Racking my memories for chapters I've encountered on my adventures. Oh no, definitely not. He looks at me in disgust. That belongs to old Farmer Harris a few acres across. He mimes a vomit. His tractor is only good for scrap. Mine is shiny and red and new. I think I've seen that one once or twice. I lie. Never seen it before in my life. Only got it a couple of months ago, along with a farm. My dad recently retired and moved to the coast. Lymington. He gave me the tractor as a gift for taking over everything. His cheeks warm, ripening like plums. Dennis is a country lad, and proud, I can tell. Time starts to move more swiftly, and before long we arrive at his farmhouse. Typical of most farmhouses down in the south, grey bricks of Portland stone with a thatched roof. The gardens look very well maintained and is surrounded by neatly trimmed beech hedging. Help yourself to a biscuit. Dennis reaches into a tall wooden cabinet and receives a chunky-looking first aid kit. Thanks. I gratefully receive a shortbread finger from the barrel on the coffee table before me. Considering the divine exterior, the interior design is shambolic. A casserole of furniture that only a lunatic would consider purchasing. I made the shortbread myself, he beams. It's delicious. My mouth full. I am not sure if he understood what I was saying. Now roll up your trouser. Kneeling beside me as I do so, he starts to clean up my wound with some sort of disinfectant liquid. No idea what it is. All I do know is that it stings more than being whipped by a bouquet of nettles. It may sting a little. His tone of voice has suddenly gone much softer, so I can't be mad with him. Only a little, I wince, much to his amusement. Relax, I just don't want it getting infected. Rats live in that ditch I found you in. Which is a good point, I think to myself as he starts to apply a bandage. So what do you do when you aren't farming? I ask. My brain is starting to feel awkward. Despite working in a coffee shop, I never really get time to practice my social skills. Work is more pleasantries for pleasantries' sake. I go swimming, actually. He looks up at me with those eyes again, blinking. In the river? My eyebrows start to play tennis with my forehead wrinkles. No, G, that would be a tad strange. Looking back to the floor and back up at me, grinning, dimples on display. There is a pool in town, close to the train station. I think I know where you mean. I lie. We should go together sometime, grabbing my arm to check that I am stable, and then he gently removes his grip. Maybe, I shrug, as I slowly step towards the door, hinting at my desire to exit. I should probably leave. Everyone at home is worried about me. They won't be worried, not one bit, but I'm inclined to be polite. At least allow me to give you a ride into town aboard the tractor, he says. Sun is starting to set. I shall be fine, I insist. Well, it has been a pleasure to meet you. He looks disappointed at my rebuttal, but I like Dennis and appreciate his help. I would love to meet again sometime. I work in a coffee shop opposite the town bridge. Come visit. First drink on me. Wondering if that was too much, I push open the tiny oak wood door. I would like that. With a great relief, he smiles. My anxiety is now satisfied that I have not screwed up a rare, casual social interaction with a human. You can take care now. He waves his hand at me without hesitation. I make an exit, slamming the door shut behind me. Speeding back home, and the sunlight gradually creeping beyond the horizon, the hill up towards Kennet Gardens feels steeper than it normally does, probably because of my injured knee. A wise move would be to remain in this form for some time until I heal. My bark will also be damaged by this, and I feel uncertain on how deep the gash would be. With the house now coming into view, I get punched in the face with a steel fist of anxiety. How am I going to explain all this to Monica? Naturally, she will be concerned. But if she found out I willingly limped injured into a strange geezer's home, then no words could even to begin to describe how much trouble I will be in. I can imagine it now. Her anger would elevate her shouting volume to the point where the local council would hand her a Section 80 noise abatement notice. Leaning the bike against the porch, I gingerly tread inside through the front door. "And where have you been?" Monica barks from the living room. I peek my head through the door to at least acknowledge her before I retreat to bed for the night. Monica is slightly shorter than me at 5'3", hair cut into an ash-brown bob, swept away from her eyes and held in place by a cheap metal hairpin with a decorative purple floral attachment of some sort. "Bike ride," I reply. "Not an excuse." She rolls her eyes. I should probably elaborate since I have a limp more noticeable than a footballer's knocked down by a gentle breeze. I fell off outside a barn, but don't worry, a farmer saw and had a first aid kit in a tractor. I'm okay. "You need to be more careful." Very firm in tone, she turns to look at me. "You are a young lady. What if the farmer wasn't there? Worse still, someone took advantage." Like I said, I'm fine. I dart up the stairs before she could protest. I can hear her shaking her head in disapproval from the landing. Well, at least that's what I think I can hear. Closing the door to my bedroom, I breathe a sigh of relief that echoes from my mint green walls. Switching on my LED strip lights that stretch the perimeter of my room where the wall meets the ceiling, and setting the colour to a slightly different green shade, one that resembles that of a little gem lettuce. I feel bad not being able to visit my mother for a few days, but it is for the best. The very least I can do is go in my human form in the morning or something. It will help ease my mind before the afternoon shift at work. "Good night, world," I whisper to the comforting atmosphere as I settle down to sleep and dream of shortbread biscuits.